Now at this stage, our booking is created. It's ready in the system. We picked all our resources with the correct capabilities, with all the profile instances. Now, when the time is there, when the booking is about to start, we really want something to happen. We want our receiver to be tuned to the correct channel. We want our L-band matrix that a crosspoint is set on the L-band matrix. We want the encryption keys to be set for our descrambling function. Everything needs to be set up now and orchestrated so the actual service can be brought live, can be broadcasted. Now, let's have a closer look at DataMiner again, at our booking. We see here our booking has a particular pre-roll and a post-roll. What we want is that at the start of our booking, everything is set up. And to be particular, at the start of our pre-roll. We see that each booking has a few events. The start of my pre-roll, the end of my pre-roll, the start of my post-roll, and the end of my post-roll. The first one, the start of my pre-roll, is called my standby state. The next one, the end of the pre-roll, is my start state. And the last one is over here, and that's my stop state. That's the start of my pre-roll, my post-roll. What we want is that all the devices are set up correctly at the start of our pre-roll. How is this defined in the system? Well, everything starts again with our service definition. We had here a few tabs. Well, the last one is the actions tab, and we can add as many actions as we want. Now in this case, I'm adding an action with the name standby. You see here all the states of my booking. Well, my standby states, which correspond to my start of my pre-roll. When this one happens, this event, this script needs to be executed. And this is an LSO script. LSO stands for Life Cycle Service Orchestration. And basically what the script is doing is running over all of our nodes in our service definition and configure all the devices. All right. Now let's have a closer look at this automation script, this LSO script. And it's very easy to make such a script. In the standard solution, there is a script called LSO templates, and you can just duplicate this script here and make your own one. There are a few examples in the template, which I will show you right now. I will copy it to Visual Studio. And there are a few examples in this template. We have a simple orchestration example, the one that I will show you today. And then we also have two others. It's the parallel orchestration example, in case you want to configure multiple devices in parallel, not sequentially. And then finally, we also have an example in here for contributing services. Now let's go for the simple orchestration first. You can see that this simple orchestration is just a for each loop, so it's going over all the resources inside this booking, and it will check what is the event. The event is start booking with pre-roll, and I'm, in this case, because it's only a demo, I'm also filtering on my resource or my function name, my function definition name. I'm only going to configure my demodulating function just for the sake of this demo. Of course, in reality, you want to configure all of your devices, your L-band input, outputs, demodulating function, descrambling function, and so on, whatever that is in your service definition. So it will run over all of your resources and it will apply a particular profile. The profile instance that was chosen in the wizard needs to be now applied on your resource. And by calling this method, this apply profile, you are actually running another script. the script for that particular resource. So in case you have a demodulating function from a Novelsat NS3000, well, I have a script that needs to configure that Novelsat device that needs to tune to the channel that was chosen in the booking wizard. If my resource, my demodulating resource, was an RX 8200 device, I have another script that applies the profile onto not the Novelsat, but this time the RX 8200 device. And these are our profile load scripts. That's how we call them. So I created for this demo 2 profile load scripts, one for my demodulator for the NS3000 and one for my RX 8200. And again, it's very easy to create them. You have in the standard solution a profile load script template, which you can just duplicate. You can call it another name and you're good to go. Now, how is DataMiner knowing which scripts need to be executed? Well, this is defined on your profile definition. So if I open my profile definition of my demodulating function, we already saw that my profile definition had specific profile parameters, but it also has here some scripts. I have here my 2 scripts for my demodulating function. It's my one for my RX 8200 and one for my Novelsat receiver, which corresponds to the 2 that I created over here, of course. Now, still, how is DataMiner able to choose one of these 2? Well, when you create or duplicate from your template, when you create your profile load script, you need to add here a dummy with the name function DVE. And then you need to specify the protocol of the function DVE. And based on what is available on your dummy, it is going to choose the correct one. So if my profile load script is triggered, DataMiner will first check, look, I have these 2 scripts available, and it will then check which one is the matching one to be executed over here. If my resource is a Novelsat receiver, well, it will see, okay, I have a matching script that has a dummy function DVE that expects a protocol, my Novelsat function with that production version. And then the correct script will be executed. Same story for my RX 8200. If my demodulating resource is coming from an RX 8200 device, it will first check my profile definition. I have 2 scripts, but this time my RX 8200 script is matching because that one has a dummy which expects this protocol, the demodulating RX 8200 protocol. Now let's have another look at the script itself. It's very straightforward. I will copy it again to my Visual Studio. Actually, you don't need to change a lot on this. There is already quite some code inside, but you only need to adapt where to your needs, of course. And I made this one really straightforward or really generic. Basically, what I had to change was this part over here, only this. And this one is just looping over all of my configuration profile parameters from my profile instance. I'm doing a parameter set, and that's done here on this specific line. So let's have a closer look at this line. So the element on which I perform a set parameter is the function element. I'm doing my parameter set. Now, what is the parameter ID that I'm using for that particular parameter? Well, this is mapped also on our profile parameter. So when I have a closer look again at my profile parameters, one of them is, for example, my RF frequency. I need to tune my receiver on the correct frequency. So if I have a look at this parameter that needs to be set, my RF frequency, I have here on the bottom a linked width section. And I added here 2 links. So that link is actually matching or mapping the RF frequency in 2 protocols. My RF frequency in my RX8200 protocol corresponds to parameter ID 1603. On my NovelSat protocol, this is another parameter. There it is parameter 201. So that's also what I'm checking over here. I have a method called getWriteParameterID from read. Of course, I need to use my write parameter. And this protocol parameter ID, this one is corresponding to one of these. So in case we are dealing with an RX8200, it will automatically take this ID. If we're dealing with a NovelSat receiver, it will automatically take this ID for the RF frequency. So this way we can perfectly do our set parameter with the correct value, the value coming from our profile instance, and we can completely set up all of our devices this way. Now, just to summarize what steps are involved for configuring all the devices. So at the start of our booking, at the start of our pre-roll, that's our standby event. We want that all the actions are happening, the entire orchestration is happening. So it starts with the service definition. On the service definition, we define that at standby state, we want the LSO script to be executed. The LSO script will run over all of our resources in the booking. And for each of these resources, it will execute a profile load script. Which profile load script is defined in your profile definition for each of your possible protocols. That profile load script will then eventually set all your parameters on your devices. Which parameters? Well, that's mapped via the profile parameter. On the profile parameter, for every protocol, you have a parameter ID to know which parameter it corresponds to in the protocol. So like this, all your devices are configured all sequentially.